Hi, I'm Joni.
And I'm Kitt. We're the co-founders of Practically Perfect. And today we're jumping into why we want to get organized, how our brains react and respond to clutter and being organized.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
There are many roadblocks, I think, to organizing. Some of the things that we see time and again with clients, they don't have enough time to get organized or to stay organized, because being and staying organized takes regular maintenance. Sometimes they just don't know how to get organized or where to start. They don't know how to pinpoint what's wrong. They just know it doesn't feel right. Some of these people have a really hard time letting go of belongings. And additionally, sometimes people cohabitate and the members of their household aren't on the same page and there aren't systems in place. Systems make a huge difference, and we will talk about that as well.
I think what's interesting is that a lot of people don't realize how their environment and what they are taking in visually affects their brain, and how that affects their mood and how they feel when they're in a space. So I've done some reading in preparation for this video, and I read some articles that talked about like the evolutionary development of our brain and how we process information. And when environments or things are cluttered, we have sort of the fight or flight response to it, and so it adds stress and anxiety, like literal stress and anxiety, to our lives. It can also lead to, I think I talked about it a little bit last week, decision fatigue, and that's why your brain feels really overwhelmed when things just seem chaotic around you. And they have actually found that letting go of items that you feel a sense of belonging over can actually cause pain to your brain. That's why it sometimes can be really hard to let things go.
One thing we see a lot in homes is that there are collection areas, or what we like to call drop zones, where people just naturally tend to drop their stuff, and it's not necessarily part of a system that they've thought through or created or that would work for them. But eventually those items pile up. And then what also tends to happen when you do need to do a tidying up of your house is that they tend to get shoved somewhere. So these piles are just piling up and then getting moved, and it's compounding. It's something that we see in almost everyone's home.
Well, I know it happens in my home. I actually have 2 drop zones in my house. For my kids and me, it's our entryway table. For my husband, it's the kitchen counter. Where's your drop zone?
Well, it's interesting. It's a dangerous tendency that I have to want to just clean up everyone else's stuff. Okay, so everyone has a space where they naturally want to drop things, and it's a little bit different for actually each of the 5 of us. I don't want to drop anything anywhere. I want to put everything away. That's at the core of who I am, and I understand that that's something that's unique about me.
I'm more of a I need to have it out to see it person.
I understand that.
You are the let's put it away.
I like to put everything away.
Guys, even when we're on jobs and I'm using tools, she will be putting them away as I'm using them.
Where are my scissors? You put them away, didn't you? Yes, guilty as charged. It's a habit for me. So there we go again with this idea of habits, right? I have a habit of I'm not doing anyone any favors because I'm just tidying up after everyone. At the end of the day, what we find helps households to function is just that there is a place and everyone knows the plan.
Well, and I think touching back to the psychology piece of it, at least for me, I have a sense of calm knowing that there is a plan and that it's not chaos and frustration. I know that I'd rather spend time on the front end creating the systems, creating that plan, so that way I'm not frantic in the moment trying to figure out where things are, because I don't function well. I can function well. I don't like functioning well under stress. So getting organized does have an emotional and a physical impact in a positive way, I think, on everybody. And we've actually had clients say to us that they have felt a weight lifted from their shoulders when they've walked into their newly organized spaces. And that is just, I don't know, it's like the best feeling when we get that feedback.
It's amazing how the stuff, moving around stuff, can change the way that we physically feel.
Yes, whether you realize it or not, everybody has a very emotional attachment to the things that are in their home. And I think that's one of the great reasons to hire a professional organizer. Not that I'm giving ourselves a plug, but we don't have that emotional attachment. And so we're able to help people make decisions about things in a non-emotional way that sort of takes away that fatigue and overwhelm that they'll feel from going through all that stuff.
A lot of times people are just needing permission
to let things
to do what they know they need to do it anyway.
And by the way, getting organized also does not mean necessarily being totally minimal and having nothing left in your house. I think there's lots of different ways to be organized. It depends on how you function best, how your brain works, what systems work for you.
That's right.
As long as it has a purpose in your life, whatever that purpose is, just to know and have clarity. So organizing doesn't look the same for everyone.
That's right, and that's why we want to spend next week on some very tangible steps that you can take to start the process of organizing your own home and life. And these are steps that we believe will be applicable to anybody's situation, just to start getting you on the right path to think about what you might need in your life and spaces.
I'm really looking forward to that video next week, and I hope that you'll join us too. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and remember,
if it's practical for you,
it's perfect for you.
Hi, I'm Joni.
I'm Kitt.
Well,
Start over again.
Stop over again.
So stop.
Swing back by.
Start over again.
Start with us again.
Go.